Hello, beautiful stars. Welcome to today's reading. Spirit has chosen a very interesting reading for you today. The topic, of course, sounds very simplistic, so we'll see what comes through, mainly what Spirit wants you to hear in this moment, but the format is quite different, so I'm curious and excited to see what Spirit brings forth. So, your reading all across all four readings will be the shape of a conch shell or a nautilus shell, or kind of that spiral Fibonacci spiral design pattern, the natural spiral that spins there that you can find in the natural world. And I think maybe that's why Spirit also chose for the options for your selection is the four elements of the natural world. So your first option is earth in the form of lapis lazuli sand here in this bottle. For the second element, excuse me, is represented by the element of air with this butterfly here. The third element, of course, as you can see, is water held in this cup here. This bowl. And that leaves our last element, fire, represented by this incense stick here. Okay, lovely stars. So take a moment to tune into your intuition. Take a nice deep breath. Close your eyes if you need to. When you open your eyes, see which symbol or object calls out to you. There might be more than one messages in one of the piles for you. Go to the timestamps in the description down below, and then I will see you in your reading. Hello, Pile Ones. Welcome to your reading. Alright, so you've chosen the element of earth. And let's see what Spirit wants you to hear right now in this moment. It feels as if you're on shifting sands, kind of like a threshold of sorts. Like when you are at the beach where the waves come in, it's like the water elements coming up, and then you're standing on sand, and there's like the delineation between the water and the earth element. But there's something about change and shift and movement. Also patterns of going back and forth, like how the waves come in and then it retreats outward. So yeah, some sort of element of ebb and flow, cycle or repetition. Yeah, more so ebb and flow, kind of like the tides at the ocean. But so there's some sort of shifting and change going on here. Okay. Let's look at your oracle cards to see what Spirit wants to say about that. Metatron. Okay. For some reason, I knew this was going to come out in one of the readings today. So we have Metatron. Part of your shift, growth, I should say, more so part of your growth is, well, shift and growth, I guess, comes in the form of okay, so activation for some of you, and sometimes this can be a little bit, I'm hearing either nuance, might be slightly challenging. It can also be quite easily adapted to, depending on where you are and how you take this change and shift. I have a feeling there's kind of a duality of energy here, or energy coming into this reading in terms of who's viewing or whose energy is coming up. For a good amount of you, there's a lot of ease around it in terms of this transition, and in this terms of shift, this terms of activation and kind of stepping into something new, but others of you, it might feel a little bit challenging, as there might be a little bit of what's the right word here, kind of it's not necessarily a resistance, it's more so a slow forward movement towards it, kind of like the elements of earth, right? Earth is about stability, and the other aspect of it is it's kind of in that stability there's a difficulty of changing nature, but that's why we saw the elements of water included too into your the image that spirit gave me with the beach and the sand and everything. It's like it's not solid earth, it's sand earth, so there's a lot of shifting particles there, shifting changes, but there's certainly an activation or shift or change of something going on, that for the majority of you will be quite I hear exposure coming through, in a good way. It's like you are being exposed to the world, or something of yours is being kind of acknowledged or is being brought out to the world, or you yourself, either you're a project of yours, or you yourself in some shape or form, some sort of recognition going on. Okay, let's look at the other oracles here. Okay. So water element coming through again. As you can see here, there's a bit of earth color here too, with a lot of water shifting, mutable changes going on here. So we have that combination again between earth and water. It's almost like there's guides coming in to help you, spiritual guides, from... Yes, it's not just one specific kind of type of guides, although it certainly could be, like say something for guides from Lemuria, right? But it's more so has to do with spiritual guides that are connected on this wavelength of the ever-changing shift and flow, or the elements of water. And we know you chose earth, but a lot of water elements coming through here. There's... Okay, what they're showing me is it's almost kind of like an aquifer. It's like when water percolates or trickles or seeps through sand or through dirt or through earth, is what we're seeing here. It's the energy of... the main word they're telling me is mutability, or mutable or changeable, and allowing whatever activation, shift, or transformation that you have going on in your life to kind of trickle in like the water, like slowly into the earth, into the sand, into the soil. Let it percolate through and let it seep through. So yes, it's not like an inundation. It's not like a flood that comes all at once. The water element, whatever you have shifting and changing going on in your life, let it percolate and trickle through, slowly and steadily. Yeah. And for some of you, those, like we said already, those change or shifts can be challenging, but for the majority of you, I feel like it's more like a positive shift or influence or change or activation of sorts coming through with Metatron here, to kind of trickle and percolate into your life, into the daily cycles and the daily workings of your life to shift and change your life in a way that it becomes more fluid, more flexible for you to navigate and move through your daily life in in a way that there's a lot more flexibility and fluidity to it. Okay. And we have mirror. Okay. Yes, so certainly a reiteration of the water element again, but so like here, this looks like a bowl of water. If you come to this reading from the water element, or you've chosen both, there might be some synchronicities there. But with the mirror here, especially with the element of water, we're talking about reflection, right? That's what mirrors do. Yes, they are also portals, but portals to look into the inner aspects of yourself. We're not going to get into the other aspect of the portals of mirrors, but it serves primarily as a reflection. And what we see here in regards to the mirror, yes, it's a reflection of what you've gone, what you endured in your life thus far. That okay. They're also telling me distillation as you reflect, as you ponder, as you think about kind of like almost look at it like a whether you're assessing your life where you are at this point. It's almost like you're looking at the checkpoint of where you are at now in life, and that reflection, it's that reflection will allow you to distill or take out or like receive those percolations of water through the through the hard times, the challenges, the unmoving essence of like kind of like the stubbornness of earth sometimes, to kind of distill what is useful, what is beneficial, what is oh, this is a beautiful image, what is can be kind of revitalizing or refreshing for you. It's almost like how another image is showing me is kind of like water pushing from the ground through like a geyser up the ground, and then splurging or like splashing out, and you get this kind of refreshing, wonderful, revitalizing energy that the water, when the water of the geyser pushes and then splurts out from the ground here. Okay. Okay, anything else in regards to the oracles? No. Okay, so we're moving on. There's some sort of initiation, contemplation, and fluidity, and letting your experiences and wisdom percolate through via upon the reflection of where you've got to this point in life. Okay. And we have the Ten of Swords here. A new day is dawning. Okay. We have the Eight of Wands. It's coming, but you are unexpected of it, almost. It almost feels like you are quite, I want to say, not necessarily like secluded or reclusive, but there is a bit of that energy there. And, excuse me, thus whatever is coming your way, that is meant for you, it comes in the sense that you are not aware, unexpected of it. Okay, we have the Five of Wands. it will help sort out some sort of difficulty, a lot of stress and bickering going on here. We have the Four of Cups. Okay. And then the Eight of Pentacles. And we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, perfect. So whatever, for those enduring some sort of hardship or difficulties, or just kind of being, keeping to yourself, or not wanting to deal with the world for whatever aspect or reason, yes, there's an ending to a cycle, a new dawn, literally, a new dawn is coming. We have the breaking of cycles here, going from 10 to 1 here, that encapsulates your tarot reading here. And there's some sort of frustration, bickerings, or that you're dealing with. It's almost kind of like, yeah, and there's an aspect that you don't want to deal with anymore. Something that leaves you emotionally drained and also kind of makes you feel uninspired, apathetic perhaps. Those are the best words we can find for the moment to convey this feeling here. But you've been praying and you've been asking for guidance in regards to, yeah, some form of direction, shape, or help, and Spirit's going to light the match for you. Spirit's going to show you the way. And I hear it's easy to scoff at that message too, because you're like, well, when or how, or yes, and that's where part of the frustration is coming through, because often when we ask for guidance, it comes to us in the form that either A, we don't expect to hear in a certain way, or B, it comes in the form of, yeah, also sometimes in a way that we are not ready to hear it. That's why there's inner reflection call for. It's asking for a bit of flexibility, like the element of water here, to mix and coalesce with the element of earth, to give it that ease to kind of, yeah, percolate or trickle through the unease and unshifting kind of rigidity of the earth element coming through here. And since we also have lapis lazuli sand here, the element of reflection calls for upon a more, you could call it, I guess, a spiritual kind of reflection, or a more intuitive. Yes. So when you go into reflection, yes, you can do it in meditation, you can do it in connecting with, going out and connecting with the earth and the water element too here as well. So perhaps literally if you have access to some sort of lake, pond, anywhere where there's a meeting between earth and water would also be a place you can go to reflect. Yes. Okay, yes. But definitely there's an initiation of sorts and a guiding and a lighting of your way here. Something that you wish, hope, pray for, some form of guidance to receive. Okay. Good. And it'll put an end to some form of distraught cycle, stress, bickering that you've had to endure. Whether, I also get, whether it's mentally with yourself or with other people. Okay, so let's look at your Lenormand here. We have the fox. We have the tree. We have the heart. Double the heart. Okay. One is scarred, the other is trapped, quote unquote trapped. We have the mice. We have the child. And we have the sun. Interesting sun here. Okay, so let's see. Give me just a moment here to get the message started. There's a combination of energy here. One is in terms of there is a depletion of sorts in regards to not depletion, a taking away of your energy, or kind of like draining your energy. Like when you have to deal with, whether you have to deal with stress or bickering or arguments, or even in your daily life and work and job. So when you deal with stressful situation or tricky situation, it drains your energy, and that's what we're seeing here. In regards to, for some of you, it could be something that has been kind of it's almost like it's left a scar on your heart. For some of you, and for others of you, it's almost like you withdrawn your heart from the world, or withdrawn into yourself. Yeah, certainly minor stressors here and there, and there is a shift that needs to be made in terms of either starting a new path, a new direction. Kind of breaking clean of whatever you got going on to start with fresh eyes or new beginnings. To really feel kind of refreshed. Innocent might not be the right word, but kind of like a fresh start, a reboot. Because right now, with that kind of draining upon your energy, or keeping your heart enclosed, keeping your heart space, kind of just focusing on the scars or of your experiences that has kind of limited the heart, your emotions, and your expression of where you are in life. It kind of prevents you from feeling revitalized, feeling energized, feeling hopeful, optimistic. And that is the shift that is being encouraged here, to almost kind of break clean or start anew, to bring a lot more light and sunshine into your world, into your heart, to dissipate the stressors you have going on. Okay. So very interesting message here. Certainly to recap, there's a beginning of sorts, needing to shift, needing to start a new beginning. And it's what you've been asking for some guidance from the universe in regards to this. But part of that has to do with the reflection that one has to do for oneself, that you have to do for yourself in order to kind of shift and break the cycle here. We already know it's ending. It's almost as if you already begun it and it's already on its way, in terms of breaking this cycle and moving and shifting into something new. But there are parts that are still ingrained, or not using the right words here. There are parts that are still kind of marred or scarred upon your heart, that needs to be reflected upon, so you can ultimately and completely heal though, and let it percolate to a new beginning. Okay. All right, lovely stars of pile 1. That was all the messages we have for you today. So go forth, do what really revitalizes your heart, heal it, go to your reflection state, wherever and however that looks for you, so you can break an old cycle that was already on the progress of doing so, so that spirit can fully light your way here in the future. It's like you already left something behind, going on a path. You're almost kind of in the middle of it, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel that spirit has lit. But there's still a bit more progress that needs to be made in order to reach that light there at the end of the tunnel. Perfect. All right, lovely stars of pile 1. I'm wishing you a wonderful, magical day whenever and wherever you are. Take care of yourself, shine ever so bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. All right, so you have chosen the element of air, represented by the butterfly here. Okay, so let's see what your message here is for today, Pile 2, what you need to hear. You're about to take flight and spread magic to the world. Breaking free and kind of near miss, avoiding dangers. I see. You have this magical element just to waver. Even as a butterfly, they don't fly that quickly, right? But you have this magical, innate ability of magic to kind of divert around whatever obstacles that is a danger, that poses a danger to you. A, because you are protected, and B, because your natural inclination and innate magic kind of forms this magical bubble of light around you. That, let's say you were a butterfly flying through the forest, and say like a fruit drops or an arrow gets shot or some branches or sticks, is like somehow you just near miss it, and you just as you go, with the protection, the magic you have, you just flutter easily all around that, and the butterfly doesn't move very quickly. But in your case, it shifts and changes so quickly and so magically and effortlessly that it flows through the entirety of its lifespan without fear, worries, or contradictions, is also what I'm hearing in regards to, you don't let it phase you, because you have this magic bubble of light that surrounds you. And as you fly, you also spread this magic out from you, so it's wonderful. Okay, and special thing about your piles thus far too is not like any other pile in regards to So I pulled your oracle cards. You got 2 of these. And also when I went to pull, there was a tarot deck that Spirit has chosen, but when I went to grab that deck, it was almost like divine intervention where you got another deck. They wanted me to pull really like light deck for you. So yes, we'll see what comes out of that. Interested to know what's going on there, but let's dive into your oracles right now. Okay, so we have the moon. Okay. Shifting phases, changes come to be. I reveal the light that now is within me. Okay, so kind of parsing light out onto the darkness, whereas you are the moon here, and giving light. What's coming to me is a sense of hope, kind of like how the moon lights the darkness. But I'm also being reminded of the Egyptian god Khonshu, or the other pronunciation Khonsu, is connected with the moon and redemption, because what Khonsu was used to be was kind of this bloodthirsty kind of god, but in his redemption path, he shifts from being that bloodthirsty kind of killer into one that protects, especially those that are travelers of the night or going. So if we were to read the message here, and what's coming through is that you will be not necessarily like a beacon of light, but certainly a light in the darkness that helps people that are going through their shifting phases and changes in their life, especially if they are on that cusp between making some sort of significant life change, going from one phase or state to another. And we also got the phasing from the butterfly here coming through as well. Okay. Talk about changing phases and phases as well. So we have this card as the other oracle. Okay. Yeah, being a guardian of light, guided by spirit to promote benevolence. Okay. Yes, being a guardian of light, being the light itself, to help people as they go through their difficulties, especially in the time when they need it most. That's the magic you hold. Okay. Very good analogy image there. So let's say there's either like 2 people or somebody in the forest is either thinking like along the lines of like jumping into a lake or going to a lake, and perhaps like to the very end extent of it is whether perhaps they are in some sort of depression or something and they want to end their life, or so that's one scenario. I'll tell you where I'm going with this. It's just the message that's coming through. There's somebody with that, or there's 2 people fighting and it's about to get very violent, but then they see this butterfly coming through, and it almost shifts and changes the whole dynamic and the energetics of the situation. It's like the moment they see you, the butterfly, going through or flying through carefree, untethered to any sort of struggle or strife, it almost gives them an epiphany or enlightenment of sorts, or like, and that shifts the energy they have going on at the moment, where they're about to confront each other and get very aggressive, and violence. Just your presence alone kind of shifts the mentality. Or like that person who's very depressed and thinking about committing suicide or something of the sort. It's like your presence, like they see the butterfly flying by, and something hits them. Something, it's almost like when you are going, or another example is if you're traveling through the dark forest or the woods at night and there's no light at all. It's so hard, and somebody's just struggling just to kind of find their way through, and suddenly the glimmer of light from the moon shines, like the clouds peels away, and it shows this bright light, and they're able to see. As minute or as small as the amount of light is in the dark, it does allow them to see, and it gives them some sort of comfort, solace, to continue on their path, or to kind of help them with the struggle that they are enduring or going through. Okay. Alright, and let's look at these other cards here. We have the sacral chakra. Okay. And then we have the soul star chakra. It's time. Okay. It's time to take flight. It's time to unleash your power. Yes. So we have a lot of wings here. Wings and flight. Butterfly, dragonfly, angel flight, celestial cosmic energy, power of flight and wings. But all are representing the light beaming through. So very high vibration vibes coming through in this group here is, yes, what you need to hear in this moment, Pile2, is time to be, to claim, to be who you are, to claim, I hear, your actuality, whatever power that is held within you, so you can be this source of light that is seemingly so little or so dim or so perhaps seemingly is the emphatic word here, seemingly so minute, like that sliver of light, of moonlight in the night, but it's a light that can make a huge difference. It's almost like you're calling to, yes. So for a lot of you, that can be in the creative realm, here, especially with the sacral chakra. It's the energy you were talking about, the energy of creation. Yes. So stemming from a soul purpose, especially with the connected with the soul star chakra, it's your connection to the higher dimension and ultimately to source. So basically pure soul mission here, stemming through and working that through whatever way that you utilize your creative power. Yeah, whether you are creating art, whether you are creating song, whether you are creating speech, or yeah, any form of creative expression. At first it will start as a small sliver of light, but it will ultimately, it will make great impact, great strides, great effect upon the lives that you touch, upon the lives that it encounters, or that encounters your creation, your message, whatever you have going through. I'm also being reminded here of also the butterfly effect, which means they're showing me is that the whole butterfly effect is the thought that when a butterfly flaps its wing, a different part of the world, it, however minute that little bit of the flapping of the wings is, it's able to affect the air current in the atmosphere and create a tornado or some major wind event current aspect in another parts of the world. And that's what's being shown as the effect that you can have. You may just be flapping your wing, you just might be going about doing your thing that seemingly is so little or so minute. It's like, oh, I'm just helping people, you know, like find their potential in writing, or in encouraging people or teaching people, or whatever you do, and however you do it creatively. It's like, it seems very minute at first, very small, but the effect, you do not know how much of a ripple and how grand it is. Yes, it's like from that flapping of a wing, just from where you are locally, can have a greater impact somewhere else in the world. And in this case, a greater impact in somebody else's life that you might not even realize. Okay, wonderful. Okay, let's look at the tarot deck that Spirit has chosen for you here. We have the Queen of Wands, Hestia, Goddess of Hearth, Home, and Family. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Chariot with Aries, God of War, and Spirit of Battle. We have the Fool with Dionysus, God of Wine, Party, and Pleasure. And we have the Knight of Cups with Asclepius, God of Medicine. Okay. So talk about bringing the light, especially how minute it seems. Hestia is the goddess that bears the fire of the hearth, or the home there. So it's the fire that keeps everything kind of warm and functional and going. It's think of it like on a cold winter day and you have the fireplace lit up. It warms the entire house, and not only that, it creates an ambiance that brings the family or whoever is gathered there together. That's the power of Hestia's hearth fire here. And what we see here is that light, that heart, the creation that comes forth from you, or even just your presence alone, what you do, what you say, how you say it, how you interact with other, it's almost kind of like going to be appeasing a lot of strife, aggravation that people are going through, both in terms of their own personal interactions and personal interaction with themselves, and then interaction with other people. It'll almost like there's this kind of healer energy that pervades in the natural being of who you are. And as you activate it, as you create, as you step into being who you are to influence and change the world, you bring this kind of energy of happiness and happy, carefree, easygoing, celebratory aspect to the world and to people. So it helps them come out of their state of internal strife as well as external strife with other people as well. Because you're just kind of like this this butterfly, healing butterfly that just flits along, and it's like it goes back to those two analogies we talked about: the internal strife with the self, with the person wanting to end it all, and the internal strife between the two people that we're fighting. It's funny how that comes through here too. A lot of synchronicity but you just float on by, you fly on by, and then you shift the whole dynamic of the entire situation. Yes, even though it doesn't seem like you do much, but you do quite a lot. Or you have a great impact or influence in terms of making great strides and great changes. Just like the butterfly effect. Wow, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, pile number 2. Great energy coming through here. Light workers, healers, empaths, you name it. You are the butterfly and you are causing this amazing butterfly effect just by being magical and making a difference. And that is the wonderful message Spirit wants you to hear today. I feel so blessed to have your presence here. So thank you for coming into this reading here with your energy. All right, lovely stars of Pile 2. That was your reading. And with that, we will conclude it here. I'm wishing you a wonderful, magical day whenever and wherever you are. Take care of yourself, shine ever so bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, wonderful stars. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. So you have chosen the element of water here. So let's tap into this element and see what Spirit's got for you. So for Pile 3, Spirit. Okay, already I'm feeling a wave of soothing relaxation that flows out. So what does Pile 3 need to hear right now, Spirit? Kind of just like let calm and peace wash over you. Okay, there's a bit of kind of external, I guess we'll say stressors that surrounds you. So there's almost a wanting to kind of step into this island of water, more like a protective shield or force of water, just to surround yourself for ease, soothing, and relaxation. Okay, so let's take a look at what this is all about here. So we have actually 3 cards for you from this oracle here. And we'll start with this one. So we have light. Okay. Then we have the moon. And we have the storm. Perfect. All three messages reiterating what we got from the water element here. Okay. And for whatever reason, I want to pull all your oracles first before we get into the message. So we're going to do that right now. Wow, okay. We have the water element here with a bit of earth. And then we have the sacral chakra. Very interesting here. So all I will say is pile 3. If you were drawn to pile 1, the earth element, or if you come here from the earth element, yeah, let me just put it that way. And yeah, there's definitely a correlation there. But the energy we're getting here is kind of, how do you want to start this? Let's actually start over this way with these oracles here. Feeling like you are almost wanting to get away from a situation, but almost kind of like it's not being trapped. It's like what we described earlier, being in this island of water, or this island of soothing and relaxation and comfort, and all that surrounds you is this kind of crazy, chaotic mess and stress of the world, and finding some sort of peace or comfort amidst this island, away from what's surrounding you, kind of like being in the eye of the storm, where the storm rages around you, but when you are in the eye of it, there is this kind of serene quietude, placidity that is untethered, unbothered, untempered by all the storm that's going around you. Yes, it's like being in this light, these fireflies in this lantern here, or this moon, this source of light amidst the darkness of the clouds and the confusions and the arguments and bickerings and all that stuff. So the storm that rages around you. Yes. Okay. Part of what helps with that, I should say, is kind of stepping into your power here, and we don't have the solar plexus chakra here. Instead, we have the sacral chakra, because it's talking about stepping into your power and diverting your energy into some sort of outlet, some sort of, that could be in the form of a creative expression, but into even a hobby or an object, or a thing or routine that you do, even like something like reading, right? Something as simple as that, something as simple as the hobby of reading can be a diverting of your energy away from the storm that rages around you. Yes, so that's why we're getting the sacral chakra coming through here. It's not only a matter of tapping into your individual power and standing within it, but there's an element and encouragement of also doing something with that energy of being in your power. And the element of water here is also coming through, kind of like a transition, almost. Yes. Okay, so what we're seeing here in regards to that storm that rages around is, here's an example that's the message that's coming through. It's like, imagine if you are water and you're coursing through a stream and somebody puts brick blocks around you, or bricks around you. Naturally, especially if they put it in the water, in the stream, naturally the water will go around that brick and it's unfazed, untethered by it. That's the fluidity that we want you to flow with here, to navigate whatever storm, whatever rages around you, whatever stressors or you have going on in your daily life here. Is finding that moment of peace and solitude, finding that place of peace and solitude, whether literally or internally within you. That's the encouragement of how to navigate whatever situation you have going on, and that's primarily what you need to hear in this moment, is tapping into your power and diverting that energy into something that is peaceful and creative for you, or able to allow you to express your energy in a healthful and calming manner, or in a serene manner. Okay. So yes, something's going on around you, lovely stars. Different for each of you, of course, but yeah, whenever the storm rages on, we can always go to find the eye within the storm, or the comfort zone within the storm. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Two of Swords. The battle in your mind rages on. Okay. And then we have the Page of Wands. Okay, let's see here. Untapped potential. Okay. So in regards to, yes, whatever's raging on around you or within you, especially in terms of, for some of you, the mental realm here, there's a wishing or a wanting to have reprieve from it, right? From, kind of wanting to, a wish of somebody coming along and to help you out. And perhaps it's a combination of that. Perhaps there is somebody coming to help you out. That is part of what you wish for. A connection, perhaps. For some of you, it might be even a romantic connection that comes to help you out. But whether it's via your own wish or desire or premonition thereof of somebody coming, it could be because it's a kind of a sense of knowing that somebody is coming, or there's a wish for somebody to come and help you lend a hand. All in due time, fortune and fate will spin its web and weaves its threads and will bring you that solution that you need. But it's more so the internal conflict that needs to be resolved first. There's something about untapped potential within you. What is in regards to this untapped potential, Spirit? Okay, it's the self-confidence. As we talked about with tapping into your power, the solar plexus chakra here, and then coming through in the form of the sacral chakra, channeling that energy, right? There is that unlimited, untapped potential. Whether you doubt yourself or something's holding you back, or you're ambivalating between two, there's this kind of going back and forth, and we don't know why. there's a sense of doubt. That's what it is. Doubt, confusion. It's like you have this potential, like we said, very strong untapped potential here, but there's some sort of doubt that keeps you tethered and going back and forth in between the storm. It's almost as if and that's why you're asking for help, or you know that help's coming, or you're hoping that help is coming, any forms of those above. But yeah, being in the midst of this storm, it's almost like you don't realize that you are like this god or a goddess that has the power to dissuade the storm or to end the storm, because you haven't fully tapped into your potential yet. There's some sort of wavering back and forth going on here. So let's see if we can clarify what this doubt, this confusion, this lack of clarity is. Talk about doubt and confusion. We have the clouds coming through. Yeah, there's a meeting point of something that has yet to be reached, or some sort of aha moments that has yet to be realized. Okay, and we have the mice. It's like some sort of stressors is preventing you from reaching the key, the realization, the goal, the actualization. Okay, that's why. Talk about water. It's just waiting for you on the other side. We can see all these cards here lining up with each other, and these lining up exactly with this. Okay, perfect synchronicity there. Thank you, Spirit. It's what you're holding in your heart still that's limiting your heart, that is limiting your potential. It's little stressors, but it's so much more than that. It's like this mental vexation that is preventing from you reaching this ultimate goal. This ultimate realization, this ultimate untapped potential with so much power here. It's the reason why that is because you are letting whatever weighs heavily or is a burden upon your heart to confuse and doubt yourself and your mind, or letting whatever is heavy and burdensome weigh on your heart, or that's weighing in your heart, or the experiences that you've gone through, especially with the emotional turmoil that's weighed you down, creates this kind of almost like looping cycle. It's like your heart gets weighed down, your emotion gets weighed down, and it affects your mind, and then your mind creates these doubts and confusion that creates these stressors, both internally for yourself and then with your interaction with the world around you, that keeps you from seeing or reaching the key that is needed to tap into this unlimited potential here. Yes. Okay. So the advice here is to clear away both whatever's weighing on your heart and then whatever's weighing on your mind as a result of that. So there needs to be a deep reflection going deep within to see if you still carry any burdens in your heart. with whatever regards it may be, right? This is a general reading, so of course that will be different for each and every one of you. It could be a relationship, it could be a falling out that you had with a friend, it could be something that has to do with family, it could be something with disappointment of the past. There are so many things, so many issues that we go through and experience in life that can weigh our heart down, and it leaves these kind of like scars and etchings on our hearts. And unless we really heal, and even though the scar is still there, there's an emphasis to kind of make something more of it, not just to leave it as a scar. Yes, because the scar leaves a pattern. So how do we clear this pattern, Spirit? It's the diversion of your energy. It's when you do experience the storm, so to speak, use the energy of the storm itself to channel into a creative project or into a creative outlet. Yes, it's almost like using the darkness of the night here or the storm and bringing that into the power of what you can make out of it. It's almost like turning that darkness into light, or that yin into yang. Yes. Okay. Let's pull a couple cards here because I feel urged to get a message, because they probably want to convey this, of how to kind of shift this energy for you. Or yeah, we know in a way we can't get any more specific than that because it's a general reading. But if we want to get, we want to know how to shift this energy, it's just to channel it into something else, into something more creative, into something proliferative is not the right word, but it's something that can amount to something else, but in greater terms. Not the best way I have with words right now in terms of that, but that's what I got about the Pile3. It's a matter of shifting that energy there and channeling and focusing it into something else of greater benefit for you. We want one more card here. Yes, got it. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Okay, Temperance here. Yeah, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Love this deck and how things are portrayed here. Oh my god, yes. Three of Cups. And the Three of Pentacles. The other way that this can be helped, yes, one way is what we talked about already, right? The channeling of energy into something more productive, something more creative, yada yada yada. We talked about that. The other aspect is seeking support and help. The potential is unlimited here, as we talked already with the Page of Pentacles and now coming into terms with the Ten of Pentacles. But we don't see that happening because it's being held off here from its potential in this scene here, this depiction here. That's why I love this deck so much. The Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles is usually depicted as this great abundance of energy. But here it's being held or contained within an environment around it that is full of kind of like coldness and storm and windiness. We see the same energy theme again at the light being encapsulated and surrounded by the darkness, or the worry, stress, and strife. And here's the same thing with this book lying in the middle of the winter here. There's a call and a need to consult with friends and other people, support group, support network. So seeking advice, seeking, or just talking it out here too. We have all the same depiction here of somebody who's in need of support, and we see that they are seeking out help and support here, except this one scene that's encouraged. So, and especially with this deck that I got, this part is not here. We see this person underwater. I'm talking about the water element, but we also see, so this came as a scratch, and I could easily order another deck, but I decided to keep that because that message is contained here therein. This is a breath, as minute and small as it is a bit of relief and reprieve from being drowned in your emotions here, to seek a bit of help and support from other group, as indicated by the Three of Cups energy here. In combination with the Three of Pentacles, that combination of help and support can really pull you out of these burdensome or heavy things that are weighing upon the heart, or that are still lingering from past experiences. Yes, that only serves to kind of create more stress and mental strife for you here. So yes, let it be in your creative outlet, pile number 3. And if you need additional help, do seek it out, whether it's advice, whether it's comfort, whether it's support from friends or your support group, family, whatever partner. All varying different degrees for all of you. You know who your support group is or are. It doesn't even have to be people. For most of you, it will be. For some of you, it could even be nature. It could be literally in reading a book, diving into a fantasy novel, whatever your support network is. There's encouragement to seek that out to help you step out and pull out of all this nuance, and then to unleash your full potential here, because it's waiting for you. Yes. You have so much power you don't even realize it. And it's just waiting for you. So yes, what Spirit wants to say is to go forth and channel that energy so that full potential energy can come out. Because we're all waiting to see what you are going to do with all that potential energy. Lovely stars of Pile 3 here. All right, any further message? No? Okay, we're good. All right, that was your reading, Pile 3. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a boost of sort there. So with that, we will conclude this message here. I'm wishing you a wonderful magical day whenever and wherever you are. Take care of yourself. Seek out the help that you need to become fully the shining bright star that you are. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars. Hello, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading. So you have chosen the element of fire. All right, let me see here. Just a second, lovely stars. Okay. So, group 4 here, Spirit. Ooh, a cleansing of sorts. Okay. So Pile 4, with the elements of fire. Yes, we see cleansing. We also see it's not a rebirth necessarily. It certainly has that kind of energy, but what I see is kind of magma surging from the earth upward. It's a recreation of, it's almost like terraforming. Is breaking old structures, old paradigm, to create things that are brand new, structure systems that are brand new. So let's see, anything else that we're getting from this elements of fire for pile 4, please, Spirit? Yep, searching anew. Strongly breaking that foundation of the old, out with the old and in with the new kind of aspect. And we see here very interestingly too, because they want me to do this setup with this card here, surrounded by these cards here. Okay, so let's do that real quick. Okay, so let's see what your oracles have to say. Pile 4, we have Sprout, with 32 here. That might be a significant age for some of you, actually, or a coming of age. I see 26 going to 32, so within a 6 years time span. And we see here the sprout coming out of an old bone structure. So definitely that kind of surging, merging of the old and bringing something, a growth, a new growth out of the old foundation or structure. Whether you have to let the old structure die down or demolish it altogether, like when you create a new building and there's an old building there, you have to break down the old infrastructure of the old building in order to put a new building in its place. You can reuse the materials and recycle the material, but if you want to build a new building, you have to break down the old one first. You can still incorporate the old building into the new building with the structures and the materials, but there has to be a breaking down of sorts. You just can't put a new building right on top of the old building. That does not work. So there's some sort of form growth or sprouts here. Okay, let's see. Stepping into the gate of what's heavenly guided. This is more about stepping in, into the gate, into the portal, into the unknown, to step out in a new way, a new path, a new creation, a new invention of oneself. Okay. The synchronicities couldn't be any more obvious. We have the skulls here and something arising out of it again, right? It reminds me of the Anant here, the birth of the snake that is holding the universe in place, ready to destroy and break down, to begin again anew here with the birth of the celestial egg. Okay. We have the green man here. Yes, abundance, fertility, rebirth, regrowth, resprouting. And we have the elements of water. Water into earth. This is kind of like what's coming to me is the creation of the primordial soup, when things on the planet were still fresh and new, and everything was mostly covered in water, and within that water, eventually Earth, literally what we got from the fire image here, in that primordial soup, lava and things solidify to create terraform, right? To create land that things can start inhabiting on, start living on. In the primordial soup, all the waters there in the present, at the beginning stage of the earth, it needs the elements of fire in the form of lightning, spirits fire, to electrify the water and create new molecules and structures, primarily micromolecules, such as the creation of protein molecules and structure that forms the basis and creation for life. So what have you got going on, Pile4? It's almost like starting a new generation, a new paradigm, kind of restructuring of the world here. Okay, we're just going to put it this way. Yes, so you can see it. And let's see for our final oracle here. We have the heart chakra. Yes, this creation is close to the purity of your heart, being a soul mission of sorts. Or at least it's connected to the divine self here. Here, Spirit, light my way, guide my way, to let whatever unfold comes what may. Okay. In regards to the heart chakra here, Spirit, yeah, it just tells me of soul purpose. It's in alignment with your higher self. Okay, powerful. So there is, yes, some sort of restructuring, growing here. And I feel like it's, yes, some sort of soul purpose, or something that you dedicated. It's almost like a mission of sorts that you dedicate yourself to. Yeah, and fire is the element that kind of triggers and starts all that, connected to the spiritual realm. But there has to be a rebirth. We even see the egg here, reiterate here in this card here. For some of you, it's part of stepping into a transformative portal of sorts. Kind of the willingness to step into that unknown, or really to have trust and faith to step into that unknown in order to start this mission, this rebuilding, this structure, this process. Yeah, whatever you have on hold near and dear to your heart here. Okay, let's see what our tarot says. We have the Emperor. Yep. Being the structure, the structure of the new world here. We have the Three of Swords. Yes, something needs to die. An old thought, an old pattern, an old structure of the old world, something that is harmful to the people that needs to be resolved or die away. Say like the structure of greed is coming up, like greed in terms of how say like for example those in the top power with banking regulations is charging too much interest for people and keeping them in debt or indebted. It's like something like that, a poisonous structure in the system, something akin to that needs to die out, needs to die away. Okay, and we have the Seven of Cups. And we have the Six of Pentacles. Everybody gets their compensated fair share here. Yes, there is a bit of uncertainty in terms of how this unfolds. Yes, that's why. Thank you. Okay. That's why there's a need to trust in your heart and your soul mission. Connect if you need to your higher self, especially to know your soul mission, and to go forward, to take action here, to really step into the unknown. I think that is why there's a bit of uncertainty here. The goal is clear. You are forging a new system or a new creation or a new project even, or a new, say like you're creating, like say this was in the past and you were somebody who was thinking about creating a currency that is unregulated or less regulated across the spectrum for everybody. So something like Bitcoin, or something along the lines of that kind of deregulated monetary system is just barely hopping on the scene, while the bank system are in full control of how it keeps people in debt and exploits people's natural tendency to want to spend via capitalism or something like that. That's just a mere example. But yes, something of the old system needs to die and needs to be crushed, needs to be it's like the magma or that primordial soup. That old structure needs to be reformulated so it can form something new that is better. Like the growing out of these skulls here, something better can grow out of it. It's part of your soul mission, your soul course, your soul but there's an aspect of needing to step into the unknown, to trust it, because if you to step into an unknown, to take action, to step into the unknown, to embrace or not embrace, to enact the energy of kind of the emperor here, to really step into, take action. Otherwise, you can easily remain in doubt and confusion. It's like, well, I know this is what I want to do. I know I have to restructure something. I know I want to create something new, but I don't know the ways or the about to get there. But the way to get there is just taking action and going to the unknown aspects of it. If you have those intuitive hits, those intuitive inklings, it's like, oh, maybe I want to go it about this way. Let's say, for example, we go back to like the like 5-10 years ago, or back in the 80s, when that one person thought about creating some sort of online currency, like Bitcoin's the only one that comes to mind, but there's a bunch of other ones, yes. But mere example, but that one person thought about like, oh, this is going to revolutionize the world and change how monetary system works across the world. But if that person never trusted himself or herself, it was another guy back in the history there, but we'll just call it him or herself. If he or she never trusted him or herself and never took the actions to create this project, then the whole decentralized commerce might not exist today. Yes. So it's a matter of taking that action and trusting and stepping into the unknown, how it's going to turn out. Just taking action and going forward with it without being stuck on the idea of like, well, I don't know if this will work. I don't know if this will succeed. I don't know how it's going to turn out. But whatever you have going on at your heart, pile number 4, trust in it, go forward with it, and just step into the unknown aspect of it. Trust that things will take and unfold its place because you're on the verge of something major here. All of these we talked about already. The great mystery, the unknown, right? The kind of terror forming, the restructuring of everything. And even in that primordial soup where life is created, where it's electrified, jolted, there's uncertainty and of knowing whether life will be created, whether protein structure can be created from electrifying or charging water. But how will you ever know if you never take the first step to achieve it? So that is the encouragement advice, is to take the first step. Because what is going to happen here is once you kind of bring down the old structure and the paradigm, then you can bring the alleviation of people's worries here, because whatever you have got going on related to your soul mission or purpose here, it will create due compensation and kind of like equalize the energy of where it needs to go. What do we mean by that? It means that those who have endured and have suffered can really greatly benefit from whatever your soul mission is, but that reciprocity of the energy can only take place once your mission has been initiated, once it has been unfolded, and once it is in progress. And we have 11:11 on the clock to confirm that. It's something that's going to be massively out there for the world, that it will be that will make a huge difference in many people's lives. Yes. Okay. So we have the moon here. Talk about the uncertainty of where it goes. Not only that, we see the world here in the moon and the world below. Okay, wonderful. We have the garden, more significance, indicating the indication of connection with the community at large and with the world here. And we have the coffin. Yes, primarily what we talked about already, something that needs to die, an old structure, an old thought pattern, an old paradigm, something that's been set up that is not useful or beneficial for the people, that exploits the people, that it's dying out. Yes. So we don't know how your creation will come forth in the world, but that's because you won't know unless you create it or try it, right? But it's going to serve its benefit, and it will put an end to something that is not useful for the world. Yes, but the only way to find out is if you're going to create a cake, a brand new cake, and you don't know how it's going to taste like, how it's going to be perceived by people, well, the only way to know is to make the cake. So, yes. Go forth, splatter in your batter and create your soul mission's purpose creation. Don't worry about the doubt and the fears that are holding you back. Step into the unknown, take action so you can put an end to something that's not useful for people, to equalize the energy and make something that is really heart fulfilling and reciprocating and compensating for the world at large here. Wonderful. That's why you chose the element of fire to kind of ignite and inspire you to continue and go forward with this. So there's no more kind of mental hesitation about it. Yes, it's time to rebirth the world anew, or rebirth a structure or a system anew. And you are the one to go forward and do this. So trust in it and step in and know and go forward with it. Lovely stars. Wow. Okay. Wonderful reading. Wonderful reading. Thank you for joining me with your energy here at Pile 4. All right, lovely stars of Pile 4. We are going to conclude your reading here. Actually, no, give me just a moment, lovely stars. They're telling me, let's see here. There's something else they want to convey. Okay, let's get a final message for Pile 4, please, Spirit. There's something else that Spirit wants you to know, Pile 4. What have we got going on here? Huh. Let's leave that aside. Yes, and let's see. Yes. This is a yes-no, so let's see what that's all about. The 10 of Wands. Okay. And the 7 of Wands. Okay, that's what they want you to know. And we have the Hierophant. Yes. So this is the breaking of that old structure and paradigm. Whether it's in monetary, whether it's in religious, yeah, whatever it is, yeah, your purpose is to break down this old structure here, this rigid structure. And the thing they want to say at the end here, it is a challenge, but they wanted you to, they want to encourage you to go forward, because they know it's a lot of work and it's not going to be easy. It feels like a time where you are, talk about the fire element, being in the midst of burning out, being tired. Yeah, but we see here, not only are you on higher grounds because you are guided to this purpose and mission, your conviction is tried and true. The emotion associated, I've associated with this card over in past readings is that she puts herself here because her conviction is true. Even though she knows it's daunting and tiresome and puts an end to one cycle or another, the conviction is so strong that she still goes forward with it. That's the message that's being conveyed here. So as long as you stay tried and true to your heart's purpose, to your conviction, and be strong and hold strength about it, you'll always have the upper ground and the upper hand, because it is divinely guided and led in connection with the purpose of your higher self. Yes. It's not going to be easy. Sometimes it's going to be challenging, but you will always have the upper hand, or you will always come out on top. Yeah. because it's natural for, if you are holding your missions, your higher self and heart's mission's purpose, then you will have help along the way from spirit. Okay, now they're good on the message. All right, lovely stars of Pile 4, that was your message. Go forward, stay true to your course, step into the unknown. Don't worry about it, don't be fearful about it, just take action and you will be supported along the way, because you are meant to make great strides and great difference here in terms of changing something in the world. All right, lovely stars of Pile 4, with that I'm closing the message here for you. I'm wishing you a wonderful magical day whenever and wherever you are. Please take care of yourself, shine ever so bright, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye, lovely stars.